Having spent a little bit of time with the Martin SN0054-G-B1, I've been asking myself the same question. Is Martin actually a bit overrated? Welcome back to the channel. Please do all the usual stuff, the liking, the subscribing, if you haven't done so already. So you probably know Martin as one of the best, if not the best, Homage watch brand on AliExpress. They make some of the best watches at the price, and I say make rather than design because they pretty much let everyone else do the designing for them. Now that doesn't bother me particularly, as you'll know if you subscribe. About half of my videos are now just Martin. I might end up calling my Martin, son Martin, my son Martin. You might say I'm a fan Martin. I'm gonna stop doing these. This is their homage to the Tudor Black Bay Pro, a watch that just from my haircut you can tell I can't afford, but I can afford this. In fact, I didn't actually pay for it. I swapped it with a subscriber called Paul. Thank you so much, Paul, for getting in touch about this and doing this swap. I review my watches based on 4 key categories and the subcategories therein, which are up on screen now. Okay, got that? So time to see if Martin have made the perfect homage or are actually just a bit overrated now. So this is obviously based on the Tudor Black Bay Pro. That watch is a beauty, a classic, a knockout, but with a price to match. This Martin, however, costs £225. That's less than 10% of the nearly £3.5 grand that Tudor asked for their model. Then again, they did design it. However, they didn't design the dimensions of the Martin. Whereas the Tudor has a 39mm diameter, the Martin is near enough 40. The lug-to-lug of the Tudor is 47, but the Martin is 48. The most telling difference though is the thickness. The original is nearly 15mm, but the Martin is 13mm, thanks probably to the very much outhouse Seiko NH34. This GMT movement is as common as I am. This example is running within tolerances at plus 13 seconds per day, but you'd expect much better regulation from Martin, to be honest, and that's what I've become used to from the brand. Nevertheless, the crown action feels extremely smooth and is just a dream to operate. That screw down crown also means we get a pretty acceptable 100 meters of water resistance, which might be another reason why this is slimmer than the 200 meter water resistant Tudor original. As much as I really do love these dimensions, I'm not some sort of Martin apologist, a semologist, no. And the Tudor definitely has some quality of life stuff over this homage that you will notice, like a properly adjustable on-the-fly clasp, and I'm sure a huge step up in the level of finishing. Plus, you know, you've got a Tudor. Now, onto the price. Martin seem to have been slowly creeping their prices up in the last year or so, to the point where some probably feel like their watches aren't the bargain that they once were. At $279 or 225 quid, this is over my admittedly arbitrary £200 threshold of what counts as a quote-unquote cheap watch. That figure is of course relative, and everyone will have a different definition of what constitutes a good value mechanical watch. So I don't class this as cheap per se, but luckily, nor does it feel cheap. If you get it from the Watch Dives website, it also comes with a 3-year warranty, which isn't quite the 5-year warranty that Tudor provides, but will outlast most of the relationships you have in your 20s. But full disclosure, I am a Watch Dives affiliate, which means if you buy the watch using the link in the description, I will get a small commission, but you won't pay any more for the watch. However, in this case, I'm not necessarily recommending that you do. And I've said this before, but Martin as a brand will always be divisive to some people. As much as I dislike how diminutive the logo looks on this dial, and the fact that this one is printed, I always prefer an applied logo, especially in the case of Martin. I still think it's a solid brand now, at least among enthusiasts like us. The stainless steel bezel has a radial brush that, because of how it slopes downwards, makes it shimmer horizontally, if that makes sense. While the vertical brush on the case shimmers, well, vertically. I hope the footage can sort of demonstrate that. It just gives it a nice crisscross shine. You can sometimes catch just in the corner of your eye the chamfering at the edge of that bezel as well, which is fantastic. as are the chamfered lugs. It mimics the Tudor original in this respect, but I don't know why they haven't also done the hands like Tudor did. On the original Black Bay Pro, the hour, minute and second hands are done in the same off-white as the dial markers, but while San Martin does have a blacked out pinion, the hands themselves are done in polished steel. To loosely paraphrase my dodgy Uncle Paul last Christmas, when you're doing a Tudor Black Bay Pro homage, white hands matter. To actually quote my Aunt Sandra, have San Martin changed their loom formula? She did say that. She did say that. Well, you weren't even there, so I don't know why you're giving it. It certainly seems like it, though this is apparently still BGW9. It just doesn't seem to glow as potently as other San Martin models that I've had in the past, although admittedly it does look good on camera. It could be because the indices are printed on and it doesn't have the layers of loom that the applied indices would. The hands still do okay, but the indices have a shorter shelf life than a Rupert Murdoch engagement. My advice would be to get the white variation. The hands have that black finish and the printed indices also look more, I don't know, they stand out more thanks to the black outline. Also, based on videos I've seen here on YouTube, and which you should check out too if you're interested, it looks like it has a nice sparkly finish to the dial, like a sort of champagne. Plus, now that Tudor are looking to San Martin for inspiration rather than the other way around, you will have the moral high ground over those people who, in a couple of years' time, get the white dial Black Bay Pro. There is also now a new variant of both the black and white, as well as a blue, green and an orange one, which I'm going to nickname the Saturday Night Thai Red Curry, but on the Sunday morning. I'm not a fan of that colourway, but I am a fan of the fact that these models have the applied logo and indices. I'd get the white dial if I was getting the printed version, and the black dial if I was getting the applied logo version. But there is potentially one big reason not to buy either at all, and that reason is Sugess. Yes, Sugess, that's the pronunciation we're going for. It's another Chinese homage brand, and they've just released their version of this watch, including a white colourway just like San Martin, except it's already got applied indices, it's already got an on-the-fly adjustable clasp, and it's cheaper, so why not just buy that? Honestly, that's what I'd do. I've handled the Sea Stern, which is Suggess's sister brand, and I thought it was absolutely excellent with solid finishing and build quality. Click the link to see that. I trust the Sugess Black Bay Pro homage would be the same. So what's the verdict on this model? Is it worth a buy? Well, let's look at the scores. So although this is an amazingly well built watch with solid finishing, specs and a pretty decent price, I just can't recommend it over the Sugess alternative. Personally, I would go for that over this. So that's my verdict. I am an AliExpress and Watch Dives affiliate, so if you buy them from one of the links in the description, I will get a small commission, but you won't pay any more for the watch. If you buy it from Watch Dives, you'll also get a 3-year warranty, which might be a big thing for you. However, even though using those links would help out the channel, I don't necessarily suggest that you do. I would check out the Sugess first and then make your mind up, and I'd suggest that San Martin take a look as well. They might learn a thing or two. Thanks so much for watching. Please do subscribe and I'll see you in the next one.